topic is the application of the renewable energy, how to generate the renewable energy inside and how we can integrate into the building. This is the need of the future because all we know that the electrical energy mainly generated at the thermal powerhouse, which is the main uh, culprit of the degradation of the this environment. So with this, these are the sequence of the presentation where I will cover introduction, renewable energy scenario in India as well as in the world, solar power generation, tri generation for building, cooling, heating for building, integration of renewable energy, and what are the challenge we have. So first of all, we have to understand that what are the renewable energy we can generate at the site. So these are the basically first we will explain what is the renewable energy. Renewable energy is the source which can be renewed or which cannot be depleted with time. So it can be renewed at every for fixed time. So main source of the main renewable energy source are the solar energy, wind energy, biomass, hydro, and the geothermal. And apart from this energies, uh, this can be integrated into the building in the form of uh, PV panels, uh, which can generate the electricity, and the solar water heater, which can produce the water heating biomass. So biomass uh, can be used to produce the electricity as well as the thermal energy, and geothermal can be used for the heating, cooling in the buildings. So other energy efficient equipment can be integrated with the building so that we can improve the building efficiency. Then natural daylight, uh, in the daytime we have a sufficient light to illuminate the interior of the building. So this is the major thing we can implement in the building. The other advantage of this uh, renewable energy is that this is alternate to fossil fuel, and we can save the lot of cost on operation because these are the free energy. So although it has a high initial cost, but it has the very green source of energy and has a less which spread the less pollution and less environmental damage. So first of all, I will go to the different renewable energy. I would like to explain the UN Sustainable Development Goal. Basically, this goal are the collected or 17 interlinked global goal designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. These sustainable goals are set up by 2015 by the Nations General Assembly and are intended to achieve by 2013. These uh, sustainable development goals were developed in the post 2015 development agenda as the future development framework to succeed the developed goal in 2015. The in this 17 goal, the that goal are we are working is the goal number 17, affordable and clean energy, and the 11, sustainable cities and community. So apart from these 17 or 7 and 11 number goals, another goal are also important for the future perspective. Next slide. So these are the energy consumption of the world uh, in the different major countries. So day by day, the energy consumption is increasing. So in the United States, it is 1966, and it is increases up to 2020. It is to 2033, 2334, and it is projected to a 22.9. That is the fossil fuel, because as the time is uh, going, so countries are working toward the utilization of the renewable energy. So in the similar manner, India, the energy consumption of India is also increasing. It has been increased from 195 to 19, uh, 1921. So this is the energy consumption of the world, and this is the energy consumption projection of the India. So uh, now India is started to utilize the renewable energy. So in the beginning, the renewable energy is not used in 90s, but when the time is left, so government are intending to use this renewable energy source, and in 20 it has been reached up to 41 million tons of oil equivalent, oil energy. So, and it has been projected up to 2040, it is 256. So renewable energy generation in India has reached, we can see from this graph, and renewable energies also follow uh, the same trend, because uh, government have initiated the policies that we have to utilize more and more renewable energy. So this is the pie chart which shows the amount of the energy, eh, different renewable energy can are being used. So basically, renewable energy, there are different kinds of the renewable energy: tidal energy, hydroelectricity, wind energy, solar energy, biomass, geothermal, and they are the renewed, can be renewed with time. So they are in, they cannot be exhaustible like a fossil fuel, uh, because fossil fuels are limited in nature, they can be exhausted with the time. So these are the future, these energy sources are the future for the, not even for the world. So so from the previous slide, there are the different renewable energy. So out of these renewable energy, solar energy is one of the main resources. That is the renewable energy. Because now the current situation of solar energy, people are very aware about the solar energy. They are using the solar energy to operate their homes, office, and society. So basically, solar technology can harness the energy for varieties of use, including generating the electricity, providing the light, comfortable interior environment, ventilation, heating, cooling, and water heating for the domestic, commercial, and industrial purpose. Basically, this solar energy can be utilized in mainly in two ways. One is the photovoltaic. This photovoltaic cell can generate the direct electricity, and this generated electricity can be used in whatever we require. The other way of utilizing the solar energy is the solar thermal energy. So this has their own advantage using the solar thermal energy, because by using the solar energy we can produce the heating, cooling. We can use the heat for the different heat process. So they have their own advantage. But the major difference is that the photovoltaic efficiency of photovoltaic cell is very limited. It is around 20 up to 25%. But the efficiency of the solar thermal system is quite high in comparison to this PV photovoltaic cell. The next slide. So in the first one, how to we can generate the electricity using the power cell, and we can integrate with the building. So there is two way of integrating this uh, electric energy generated by the solar energy. One is the off grid and one is the on grid. In the off grid, we have to use the battery bank. So whatever the electricity generated by the solar panel has been produced, it can be uh, stored in the battery. And when there is no sunshine, or in the even in the night time, we can use this stored energy in the house. But in the on grid, there is no need of the battery bank. So we can directly use the solar electricity energy generated by the solar panel. There is an inverter, so it can convert the DC current into the AC current, and we can utilize. And excessive energy that is produced by the solar panel, it can be transferred to the grid by net, using the net meters. So net meter is the meter which can calculate the amount of the unit of electricity has been supplied to the grid, or whatever the unit we have received. So suppose we have generated the large number of electricity units, so we can, whatever the we can use, we can supply to the grid. And even, and in the night, we can take the electricity unit from the grid. So there is a uh, net supply or net electricity unit taken from the grid. So we can, on the based of the monthly, how much amount, how much unit has been utilized, so we can pay the bill. So there is the battery bank for the off grid system. Off grid system generally suitable for those locations where grid is not there. So it is for the rural area, and this on grid system can be utilized where the grid is available. So other PV technology basically, generally the commercial photovoltaic cell we are using in the solar power plant. They are made by the silicon, but thus some technology has been introduced, uh, that is the transparent glass, transparent solar PV panel. So which combine the which utilize for visible transparency, and as well as is generate the electricity, and it can electricity. So now the everywhere glass is being used in the building, so can be used for the dual purpose, like for uh, for the solar energy gain, and as well as the electricity generation. So there is a basically two concept to develop this solar cell. One is the Y side, there is a edge mounted PV cell has been mounted, and whatever the light is in, in, incident on the glass, which is scattered to this side mounted PV cell and can generate the electricity. Another concept for developing this transparent solar cell is to place the uh, TI, titanium oxide crystalline particle, which scatter the light, and this can also replace the silicon material. So in this way, it can produce the light, it can transfer the light as well as producing the electricity. So another PV technology that has been developed, that is the solar paint. Solar paint can be used to generate the clean energy. The paint combines the titanium oxide, and this is the simple paint which can be put anywhere on the surface, and it can produce the electricity. Uh, the this is the technology which is developed by the one of the CSIR lab, that is solar T. Solar T, the purpose of the solar T is to use use the land, use reduce the land of use use of land by mounting the several uh, PV cell on like a tree. So it is a structure where the modules are planted on a single pillar which looks like a tree trunk. It serves a dual purpose for being a artwork and energy generator. So basically it can save the land because if PV panel are placed, so it's required a large land. So this advantage can be used by this solar tree. So it gives the 100 times more solar power compared to the conventional solar power layout and consume 1% of land surface for the same power. It hold a panel at a higher height and get more sun. It can be facilitated with the water sprinkler at the top of the. So these are the features of this system. Next slide. The other PV technology, photovoltaic thermal collector. Photovoltaic thermal collector basically is a hybrid collector which can generate the electricity as well as the solar thermal energy simultaneously. So it is equipped with the thermal collector as well as the PV cell. The major advantage of this system is that there is a operating temperature at which it gives the maximum temperature. PV cell has a operating temperature which gives the maximum electrical energy. When this is exposed to the sunshine, so its temperature increase, thereby its efficiency is decreased. So by incorporating this thermal collector with this PV collector, it extracts the heat from the PV cell and uh, the temperature of the PV cell is reduced. So its efficiency improved and this thermal collector is extract the energy, thermal energy, so it can be served as a dual purpose. So this is the basically cross sectional diagram. This is the glass. This is the gap between the uh, PV and the glass. This is the PV, and this is the uh, heat conductor. That is the absorber plate, which is in contact with the PV, and this is the water uh, heat transfer fluid flowing through this pipe. So basically, thermal collector are basically of two type: non-tracking collector, stationary collector, and the tracking collector. So non-tracking collector, non non-tracking collector are the flat plate evacuated compound and hybrid, and tracking collector are classified in the single axis and the double axis. So there is many collector which falls into the single axis, parabolic, cylindrical, linear nozzle, and double axis tracking collector, central tower receiver, parabolic dish reflector, and circular Fresnel lens. So these are the some of the efficiency of these collector and what is their use and what is the working temperature of these collectors. So though the first one is the commercialized is the evacuated tube collector. Evacuated tube collector are composed of the multiple evacuated glass tube containing in the heat pipe. The heat is transferred to the transfer fluid of a domestic hot water in heat exchanger. So that this tube is evacuated. The advantage of this vacuum to reduce the heat loss to the environment. So maximum energy is transferred to the heat transfer fluid. So this is the photograph. Uh, this is the heat. This is the performance curve of the solar thermal system. So basically, this line shows the depict the performance of the thermal collector. Red color, the region of the red color is shows the performance, heat gain, usable thermal energy gain, and this portion is the losses. So when the slope increase of this line, so thermal losses increases. So this can be shown in this gram. So is this figure. So there is a different collector is there, performance curve of different collector is there. So on glaze flat plate collector, uh, the the slope is high, so it means that it has a high thermal losses, but initial efficiency is high at the low temperature difference. But evacuated tube collector, the slope is low, so the thermal loss is to the environment is low, but the initial thermal efficiency is low. So these graphs are very important to analyze the solar thermal system. So ventilation in the building is very important. So ventilation using the solar energy can be utilized by the Trombe wall. So Trombe wall is the system of indirect solar heat gain and ventilation in summer. Trombe wall are very useful for passive building design, because there is due to the passive nature of this technology, no heat is required. So basically there is uh, a wall is there, trombe wall, and when it is get heated, so then due to the when air comes in contact with this hot surface, so its temperature increase and density decrease. Due to density difference, it circulate in the building. So in the similar way, the ventilation can be achieved by in this manner. So this is the air, cold air is coming from one side of the building and it's going to the uh, passes through the trombe wall. Tri-generation is very important for the buildings. Basically, tri-generation is the system uh, which have which can generate electricity as well as the heating and the cooling. So it serves three purposes: uh, electricity, cooling, heating, and there is another loss, but usable energy can be electricity, heat, and the cooling. So trigeneration is an attractive option for a particular for a especially for building, because in the building we need basically heating, cooling, and electricity. So and this system can be design of from 1 kilowatt to the 10 kilowatt. So this is very useful technology for running the building. So these are the some benefit of the tri-generation. Basically, tri-generation work on the organic cycle. These are the some basic uh, advantage: energy saving, reduce power cost by utilizing the existing waste heat produced during the electricity, because the organic Rankine cycle has been can be used in this tri-generation. So organic Rankine cycle can be run by using the low grade energy, because the in the Rankine's organic Rankine cycle, the it's operate at a low temperature, uh, so it can be used solar energy, waste energy. So also it reduce the environmental impact. Region Trigeneration is an energy efficient method of power creation, offering around 30% reduction in the greenhouse gas emission compared with the main grid power production. Because as we utilize the uh, solar energy, uh, so it reduce significantly the carbon emission. It can be used at the remote area uh, where which experience the extreme weather events such as cyclone, tropical storms, flooding, reduce, and it is very reliable source of energy and can be operated the low grade energy such as solar, biomass, and waste heat. So this is the diagram of the trigeneration. So basically there is a two cycle is there. This is the organic Rankine cycle, which produce the electrical energy, and this is the vapor compression cycle which produce the cooling, and this is the hot water is there which can be utilized for the heating purpose. So it serve three purposes. As organic Rankine cycle operates under a low operating temperature and pressure than the traditional steam Rankine cycle, this allow a lower grade heat to act as a fuel for a operation. So power generation is produced utilizing the organic cycle. Cooling can be produced by vapor compression cycle and heating by solar thermal collector. So other is the geothermal. How we can implement the geothermal in the building. So geothermal heating and cooling system provide space conditioning, heating, cooling, and humidity control. They may also provide water heating either to supplement or replace the conventional water heater. Geothermal heating and cooling system works on by moving the heat rather than by converting chemical energy to heat. So basically, the major component of the geothermal system is the heat pump. Every geothermal heating and cooling system um, have three major sub system: geothermal heat pump, a earth connecting transferring heat, borehole heat exchanger, and distribution system for delivering the heating cooling to the building. Each system also have the de-superheater to supplement the building water heater, full demand water heater to meet the all demands of the building. So and the basic concept to utilize the geothermal, the constant temperature of the soil throughout the year. So in the winter, it serve as a source of energy which transfer the uh, heat to the uh, flowing fluid, and in the summer it serve as a sink. So it basically it exchange the heat between the buildings and the grounds. So another cooling technology for the building is the solar cooling, adsorption based solar cooling. So desiccant cooling are basically open cycle system using water as a refrigerator in direct contact with air. Basically, uh, uh, this absorption system has three major components: solar water heater to generate the heat, and other is the uh, desiccant wheel to humidify the air, and one is the another is the cooler, uh, water cooler water cooler, sorry, evaporative cooler to dehumidify, to cool the air. So in the next uh, presentation, Dr. Nagesh Babu will discuss in details. This is the basic internal view of the component uh, of this uh, solar desiccant. And the other solar cooling is the absorption based solar cooling. So this is the cooling. It is very similar to the vapor compression cycle, but the major difference is that the main culprit for the energy consumption in the vapor compression cycle is the compressor. So in this absorption based cooling, the compressor has been replaced with the vapor generator and the absorber. So the absorber enables the refrigerant to flow the absorbing from the absorber. Basically, the in this system there is a two combination. Uh, there is vapor generator and absorber is the absorber where the refrigerant has been absorbed, and this solution is transferred to the vapor generator where waste heat or low grade energy can be utilized to produce the vapor of the refrigerant whatever the is utilized in has been absorbed in the absorber. So this cycle is similar to the vapor compression. The another is the solar heating. So actually solar heating is very important, like Ladakh region, because in the Ladakh the temperature uh, is goes below the is goes up to the minus 30 degree. So solar uh, in the solar heating, basically this project has been carried out by GIZ and MNRE. They utilize the solar air heater and in the basement of the room pebble bed. So pebble bed serve as the energy storage, sensible heat of the air, whatever the is extracted in utilized in the solar air heater, and while radiate heating is serve as a room heater. Natural daylight, also the natural daylight is very important for the building. So natural daylight basically utilize the light to illuminate the rooms. So there is a some reflective tunnel is there, so it utilize transfer the uh, light from uh, outer from sunshine to the environment. So basically these renewable energy can be integrated into the uh, uh, can be integrated to the building. Integrated of renewable energy basically is from the renewable energy source to connected to the utility grid. So the network is fed by the source of renewable energy. Generally, the shape and integration of the renewable energy technology connected to the grid, they have many challenges. So, first challenges is the power quality. Power quality is the important factor to ensure the stability and high efficiency of the grid. So, ideal PQ leads to the system to work well with the high reliability and less cost. The second is the availability of the power, because renewable energy, various renewable energy integrated to the building. So availability of the power is the biggest concern of the renewable energy grid. Great integration in the power system depends on the natural resource that are uncontrollable, because in the night no sunshine is there, so no solar energy generation is there, and wind energy is depend on the wind condition. So these are the some drawbacks. So uh, producing electricity stand up when the sunshine is available and off at night, and also wind depends on the availability of the wind. So if the wind of the speed is zero or low, the turbine will not run, and this result in the zero power flow to the grid. This stably for producing the energy in renewable technology is making the integration more complex. So forecasting is also is very important. Forecasting in the power system is major uh, due to the power management for the grid. uh, we, Basically forecasting ensure the stability and high reliability. Eh, uh, Another is the location of the renewable energy plant, renewable energy resource available at the site or not. So most of the renewable energy plants that share their energy with grid are large scale of capacity, and usually the area of the such one plant is considerable, is significant. So, uh, so it is a varied location to location where we have the particular renewable energy resource or not. So these are the major challenges with the integration of renewable energy with the grid. The another is the cost. So basically, these are the conclusion from utilizing the solar energy. Solar energy basically generating energy that produce no greenhouse gas emissions, such as uh, fuel, uh, fossil fuels like oil, uh, natural gas, and they are can be exhaustive with the time. Diversifying energy supply and reducing dependence on important fuel, creating economic development and job in manufacturing, installation, and assess the availability of local energy source. This is very important. Which energy source is available at a particular site. So there is a various optimization techniques, and to optimize the system based on the availability of the uh, availability of the different renewable energy at the source. So these are the some conclusions. So these are the goals to achieve the renewable energy integration, uh, to advance design to advance system design planning and optimization. So with this, uh, finally, uh, I cover a few of the renewable energy sources that can be integrated to the building. And with this, if you have any query or question, so I am happy to answer to you.